Jesus Christ. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Beginner Bike Giveaway series. Today it's all about the SV650 because we are going to be fitting on a slip-on exhaust on this motorcycle. I'm super excited to do this one because I know that the SV650, given its V-twin, sounds so sweet when you uncork that engine a little bit. So today we're going to be swapping off the old slip-on, putting on a new slip-on. Went with a different option today. I think it's going to give it a really cool, aggressive look. But before we begin, I have to mention, if it's your first time here, we are giving away this motorcycle and our Yamaha R3. The camera just tilted over this way. We're going in outer space. So if you want a chance to win one of those bikes, hit the links up below. Go to patreon.com/YamiNoob. You can also buy merchandise from our store. Every dollar you spend gets you an entry to win. Or if none of those appeal to you, if you don't want to support the series, if you don't want to get merchandise, you can always enter for free. Hit up the link on Patreon. See the little box down below. It'll give you all the instructions you need to enter completely for free. But with that out of the way, let's get started on this motorcycle. So the SV650 comes with this absolutely enormous Euro 4 compliant slip-on can over here. I believe that the catalytic converter is actually incorporated into this can, which is why it's so big, because if you look underneath here, I don't see any big sort of bread boxes leading from the exhaust port all the way out. So I think we're going to get a pretty loud exhaust out of this, honestly, just out of the slip-on, which is one of my favorite things about the SV as a platform, is that because it has this V-twin engine, it just sounds so mean and so sweet. If you guys remember our FZ07 that we did, that had a cross-plane parallel 2, which gave it a really throaty bark, and this bike is a very similar story. I am so excited to hear how it's going to sound with the new slip-on. I've mentioned it in previous videos on our KTM and then also on the R3 that we did last week. I think slip-ons are a really great option for beginners. They're extremely easy to install. I can do them in about 20 minutes. It's like 2 bolts. You slide it in, slide it off. It's so simple. It gives you a bit of an extra sound, so you get like a meaningful result out of doing it. You know, a lot of mods sometimes, like, you know, the tail tidies are cool and it looks cool, but at the same time, it's really fun to do modifications that give a meaningful difference. And when you're on the bike, the sound is really important. You know, it's important how it sounds, and if you can hear it, and, you know, it's just awesome. So without further ado, let's get a sound clip of the stock exhaust. Let's remove the old system, which literally looks to be 2 bolts. It's super simple. And then let's get the new one on there, and then let's get a sound clip of that, and then we're gonna ride the bike, and then we're gonna keep going. Let's do it. So the exhaust we picked up for the SV650 is actually this Dan Moto twin slash pipe type of thing. I wanted to try something different with this one. I felt that by going with the super premium option, like the Akrapovic with the R3, I wanted to get something a little more like, you know, of the people, just like a bargain option to see how it would work on the SV, because I think that a lot of folks that buy SV650s, R3s, you know, unless you're starting from a really different place, most of these people are pretty budget conscious. And I think that, you know, for example, like if we did like a full Akrapovic system on the SV, like that would be really dope. But at the same time, I wanted to show that, you know, you can get amazing results with something that I think this thing costs like $140. You know, like I wanted to show that it's totally possible and it works really well for you to, you know, get an option that isn't going to break the bank and will still look cool and sound cool. So that's why I went with this Dan Moto piece here. I thought it'd be cool to show you guys something a little bit different. So let's do this. It's not going to take very long, so let's knock this out. All right, guys, that's the SV slip-on all mated up. It looks sweet as hell. I think it really matches the character of this bike. I think it looks super cool. It was dirt cheap, which is great, because I think a lot of folks want options that are like that. I was actually pleasantly surprised with the materials here. I mean, they're simple. You know, you just got the two little springs that hold it together. You got the clamp over here, and then you got a little bracket, and then that. And inside the pipe, you get... you know, those little, I don't know what the hell they're called, but they do something, I guess. And it's going to sound awesome because the other pipe that was on there, the slip-on, I didn't weigh it or anything, but man, it's so bulky and heavy, and I know that it's got tons of silencing in there. So I cannot wait to hear how this sounds. So let's get it started up, and then we're going to go take it for a ride. Well, they weren't kidding. It certainly is loud when it's uncorked. Jesus Christ. It's really loud. I kind of wish there were silencers on this pipe. Guys, it's really loud. We're gonna go take it out on a ride. Hopefully I don't blow anyone's eardrums. It's crazy how loud it is. It's as loud as the FC07 was with the full system and with no baffles in it. Like this thing is stupid loud. So yeah, let's go take it for a ride and see how it goes. Jesus Christ. Alrighty, guys, we're out on the bike now on the SV with its new slip-on exhaust. I say slip-on in quotations because normally a slip-on still has the catalytic converter on it. This one just did away with the whole thing. Guys, this bike is ungodly loud. Basically, it's like... it's a full system. Like that's basically how this works over here. It's kind of like how on the FC07 and on the Ducati Scrambler, basically the catalytic converter is like integrated into one unit with the slip-on, and so slip-on options for those motorcycles basically do away with the catalytic converter. I didn't realize that on the SV650, so what I want to do actually is probably get a tune on this thing because now it's running pretty much all the way out. So we're going to take it out here in beautiful City Park Road here in Austin, Texas. Great views over here, the hills. We're just going to take it out, run it on some gentle twisties, see how it sounds, get some off-the-bike clips of how it sounds, and I'm going to put the recorder inside of the tail section here so you can see how it sounds. But let's get a startup, why don't we? This is through the microphone in my helmet. Just take a listen. It is damn loud. Alright, let's go run this bike, man. Jesus. It's so similar to the FC07 in that, you know, a pipe makes the biggest difference in the world in these motorcycles. I'm trying to see if that guy's coming up. One thing that's really cool is, so this motorcycle, as I mentioned before, has like basically a start assist feature. So if you listen really carefully, okay, listen carefully, listen to the RPMs of the bike. If I pull in the clutch, first gear, right? You see that subtle difference here? Look. That's it giving that start assist feature, which I think is so great for beginner riders, and I think it really works on this motorcycle. But let's get it out on these roads. The SV is such a great platform, man. Unless you think that we're going to be shredding twisties today, you'd be mistaken, because I don't do that on public streets. Save that for my track days. We're just running a fun pace with this bike. it sounds awesome. Like, it sounds so sweet, man. I'm really digging it. Even though it's a V-twin and a similar displacement to the Scrambler, because it's a little bit higher state of tune and it's smaller and it's liquid cooled, there's a really different feel to it than the Scrambler, since I just put the exhaust on that bike a few months ago. But I mean, it's still a V-twin and it has that same character, but man, this pipe woke this bike up like crazy. Here over towards the motorcycle trails. Now we're gonna put the recorder inside of the tail section of the exhaust, or the tail section of the bike, get some sound clips of what it sounds like, a little bit different angle, you know? Let's do it.